If you're a high school, college, pro, or even a former football player, there's a good chance that at some point you thought to yourself, I'm just an athlete. In this video, I'm gonna challenge this self-limiting belief because as you know, I hope you know, you are much more than that. And it's time to break free, okay, from the mindset and the thinking that your identity is solely tied to the game of football. Before we go further, let me take a moment just to thank you. Thank you for being here, for watching my channel, supporting what I do. If it's your first time or if you've been down with your boy for a while and you've been supporting Football Inc., guys, I appreciate you. But as a reminder, make sure to go hit that subscribe button, okay? Give me a leg up with that algorithm so the word can spread all over the football community, all over the world. Let's change the game together. Should many football players break free from the identity of being just an athlete? What do you think about that? And why is this topic so important? And who am I? Who am I to talk about this? Let's start from the beginning. Why is this topic so important? It's simply because I want you to know who you are, not only within, but far beyond the game. Because I truly believe that that's the only way you can maximize your potential and win in everything that you do, not only in football, but in every other facet of your life. That's my goal with this video. Who am I and why should you care? My name is Raymond Jean-Antonien, aka Coach Ray. I'm the founder of Football Inc. I'm a former NCAA Division I football player. I've been coaching and mentoring athletes, okay, first as a sports performance coach, as a performance coach on the business world, on the personal aspect also, all the way from the youth to the professional levels. I've been in this game for over 25 years. I know a thing or two. And I've seen a thing or two. And this topic of identity is one that touches so many people, but that no one talks about. So let's talk about it. Have you ever heard of the trap of having a single story identity? Let me explain. Many football players, let me not put everyone in the same boat, but many, they fall into believing that their identity and worth is tied directly to their performance or who they are as a football player. Now, the problem with that is that it limits your view of yourself and it limits your understanding of your true potential, not only as an athlete, but as a person. I've been through this myself, and I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people have. And let's be honest, being an athlete is cool. You're put on a pedestal. You're revered. You're some type of superhuman, really. You put yourself through things that a normal human being just does not know anything about. You build character. You build resilience. You build confidence. You learn so many things within the game. And as you perform and as you keep making a name for yourself, while people, man, they love being around you. They revere you that much more. And you get that praise. And it feels good. It feels good. Understandably so. But the thing is that what happens when it ends? So if you tie everything that you are, if you tie your worth, if you tie feeling good by having this position, having this title, let me tell you something, okay? Especially for you active guys. You guys that are done playing the game, you're living it already, you know. But for you current football players from high school all the way to the professional level, what happens when it goes away? And it always does, because as you know, life is ups and downs, just like in football, just like in anything else. You can't play forever. It will end. I wish you all the best, but as you know, this game will go on with or without you. This is what makes it beautiful. Enjoy your time, but that time will end. You can be sure of that. Maybe you don't think about it right now, but that moment will come. The thing about football is that in most instances, you don't choose when it's your time. Okay? It's imposed on you. If you're at the professional level and you get cut, you don't choose. If you get injured, which happens, you don't choose. And obviously the game's getting safer. Back in my day, it was a little bit different. It's still football though. It's still a collision sport. You do not choose. If you're not good enough at the high school level, you're having the time of your life, and you might not get a chance to get a scholarship. You might not get a chance to play in college, and this might end for you right now. Not because you don't love the game anymore, because you can't go on, right? You don't choose one way or another. It's very rare when it ends on your own terms. Now I have a question for you. What if we take everything away at this moment? Your title of being a football player, of being an athlete. What if we take that away? Who are you? Who are you without the game? What drives you outside of the game? What is your purpose outside of being an athlete? What's next? What do you do with your free time? All these questions, more and more and more athletes have to ask themselves every single year, but they're not ready for it. Because all these guys, man, that transition to life after the game, like everybody has to at some point. You know, I still got the guns, still pretty in okay shape, but I'm not playing the game anymore. I had to figure out where to put all this passion. Where do I compete? Where do I get my fix when it comes there? How do I push myself? What truly sets my heart on fire? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. It's a reality that you'll have to face, whether you like it or not. One thing that definitely helped me find more clarity when it comes to this is looking at the game more objectively. Here's what I mean by that. I was just asking myself simple questions. What do I actually like about football? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? When I'm feeling something, the rush of scoring a touchdown or fighting through a block, making a big play, what is that really? And I realized something, guys. I realized that what I loved about football was not necessarily football. What I loved about football was finding out what I'm capable of, challenging myself every single day, being curious and learning, competing for something worthwhile, something bigger than me, having relationships, that I would keep for life, knowing someone's heart through and through, because you've been through the trenches with them, preparing for something really, really big, committing to it, disciplining myself, and achieving a goal. I took all these things and then I asked myself, how can I replicate this in other areas of my life? What can I create, or what can I do, or what activities, or what cause, or what people make me feel the same way? It won't be football, it won't be hitting something, but I can be as passionate because I know what I'm passionate about. I know what I'm made of. This took time, guys, and I had to really reverse engineer things and look at the source. So this is what I'm asking you. Look at the source of who you are and who you were way before football. Now here's the thing. Football is part of your identity, but it's not all that you are. And this leads me to my next point. You are multi-dimensional. That football identity is part of it. But what else? What else is also attached to that? Let's talk about that. You know what I loved most about football, and most of the athletes that I talk to, whether they're active or whether they're former athletes, you know what they tell me about? Is how so many different people from different walks of life, from different worlds really, get together, learn about each other, grow together. This is what they remember. the relationships. These people that maybe I would have never met if it wasn't for football, they're also part of me. They also made me adapt and made me evolve in a way that I am multidimensional just like you are. Now, the really important thing, listen carefully, is to embrace the multidimensional you. I'm talking about your experiences. I'm talking about your background. I'm talking about your specific skill sets, your specific mindset, the things that really make you you, that you learn as a young kid, whether it was good or bad, that were nurtured when you met mentors, that you went through a challenge, you fell down, you got back up, you changed a little bit because you learned something. This multi-dimensional version of you, find and pick what's best in that. Be aware of it. Be more in tune with it. And then you will see that you're much more than this football player. You're probably a survivor. I'll tell you about something, and it hit me, okay? Because I was born in Cameroon, grew up in Canada, and got the chance to go down south to play Division 1 football. But let's be honest, all right? We got great football here in Quebec, where I'm from. But when it comes to the mindset, it was nothing like, what I've seen down south, and I'll tell you why. I played football because I wanted to. I fell in love with the game because I had a choice, man. I played basketball, I did different things, man. I chose to play football. Opportunities were there for me. But once I got down south, it opened my eyes to something, okay? First, I realized that just in Texas, they have more football players than in Canada as a whole, okay? As a whole. People want these spots. People want these spots and they're fighting for it. They're fighting for it. Here up north, whether you're really, really good or not so good, there's an option somewhere for you to go play ball at the next level. But down south, a lot of times after high school, it's over with. On one end, if you don't have the money to make it to college, and on the other end, if you don't have the talent. But let's talk about the money. I had a lot of teammates, okay, that let's say on Thanksgiving, I couldn't go home because tickets cost a lot of money, so I decided to stay on campus there, and got to be around some of my teammates. Most of them would go back home, but some of them stayed. And when I asked them, why don't you go home? It's like, I don't want to go home. Football gave me a way out. Football allows me to finally get out. No one in my family has this opportunity, and my parents told me specifically as a kid, we cannot pay for your education. We cannot open these doors for you. Football is the way. So this is what football meant for them. Can you imagine the level of hunger? So I had to definitely adjust myself. And this is the reality too. If you're playing this game, looking to go at the next level, people want what you want. And these spots are limited. And guess what? In the real world, it's the exact same thing, man. You don't get things for free. If you do, you better show that you're worth it because it's competitive. But by seeing, their backgrounds and who they were, well, it also molded them. It also created certain things in them that if they really focused on being the best version of themselves, they could shape that into something good. And same for me, it gave me a different perspective and it kept me hungry. Whether I had food or not, you gotta get yours. And this is what it's really all about. You gotta earn your keep in life. Look at the multi-dimensional, facets of you and pick and choose things that are maybe in the background that you can bring to the foreground and that I guarantee you will make you a better football player, will make you a better entrepreneur, a better father, a better husband. This is what the game can teach you. Now, let's get into my last point. This one ties everything together. So let's do a quick recap. First, to break free, for the self-limiting identity of I'm just an athlete, I told you about, being wary of the trap of having a single story identity. After that, we talked about embracing the multi-dimensional you. And when you do these things, okay, what it for sure leads to is the power of having a broader purpose. When you expand your identity beyond simply the gridiron or beyond being only an athlete, you inevitably experience a greater sense of purpose. It's a big world, it's a big life, much bigger than football, really. But what happens, and I understand, because when you want to be great, okay, at football, and you see it zoomed in, because this is important, you're like this. You got tunnel vision. You focus. This is only thing that you see. This is only thing that you do. This is the only thing that you think about. This is the only thing that you know. But the thing is that you can't just look like this when there's so much more. If you open up, you actually turn your head and you look around, you see that, man, this is a big world with lots of opportunities and lots of things that go far beyond the game of football. So here's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to explore. Let your identity of an athlete, let football be a launching pad for so much more. Explore, find out what's out there. I'll give you a great example. If you're in college right now, if you're playing college football, and obviously you want to be the best athlete you can be, you want to dominate, you're thinking of going to the next level, I say, man, take that extra summer class if you can. Make those connections, make that internship. Reach out to me. Reach out to other former guys, man, who made that transition to the next level, who are doing things in business, who are fathers, who are leaders in their community. Tap in, get the knowledge. People want to share, people want to give, especially us football guys. As you know, we got a strong desire to leave a legacy, to give back, to leave a place better than we found it. This is how we're wired. Correct? So explore out there, find out something more. And as you do that, I guarantee you, you will attach new passions to your heart. You will discover a much wider purpose, and you will definitely become that much better at football and at everything else, because these things will align. Instead of being simply separated, they will align. And this is why, you're much more than a simple athlete. You're a man, you're a leader, you're a champion, you're a warrior. This game, man, is really creating bridges. This game is bringing us together. And this game, I truly believe, man, was created to bring, to this world that we need the trendsetters, the true leaders, the mentors that do make a difference. So go innovate, go find yourself, go make a difference, go lead, man, go be a champion, and go be much more than a simple football player or athlete. I'm fired up, man. I got excited talking to you right now. I hope you're really learning and taking notes, and hopefully, forget about simply taking notes. One thing I learned within the game is that if you're simply an information gatherer, because I'm here to tell you the truth, this means nothing, right? You got to take this information and you got to go do something with it. So let me tell you again, as I look dead in the camera, you are much more than a simple athlete. Yes, football has definitely played a huge part in shaping you, but it does not define you. It does not define you. So break free. Okay, break free. Find out exactly who you are. Let the world know and go fulfill your full potential. Man, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. As I told you before, man, this matters. And this is why I'm talking to you. This is why I'm sharing this message. So go reflect today. And if you learn something, okay, make sure that you go subscribe.